Yeah, Giles.
And what's your background?
I am a resident of Fox Lake. I am an immigrant from South Africa. I've been living here for about 10 years.
Emily.
And what's your background?
Racially?
Justin? Hi, Justin. What's your background?
Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Just moved here a couple years ago, finishing my accounting degree. Anything else you want to know?
Good. No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Ana Moreno.
And what's your background?
Like ethnicity?
Whatever you want.
Well, I'm half Mexican, half Puerto Rican.
Cool. What's your name?
My name is I.O. Manjares.
And what's your background?
My background, I was raised here in Grays Lake, but my parents are both Colombian.
Interesting. And as an immigrant from South Africa, what is your idea of the American dream?
We heard about opportunity and the idea of a better education system, better job opportunities, and that's what motivated my family, and I know a lot of other families, to come here.
What's your idea of the American dream?
It's a tough question, especially nowadays. I think overall my idea of the American dream is the freedom of choice, the freedom to do whatever you choose to do, whether that is, be a CEO of a successful company or slumming it, hanging out, on your couch, just whatever you choose to do. So.
Yeah. And so what's your idea of the American dream?
People come here for like freedom or salvation or whatever. I think of it more of like you're running away from something, so then you try to find something better.
Cool. So what's your idea of the American dream?
Answer the question.
Really clear enough question. My idea of the American dream is, anybody can come to America and through hard work and effort lead a better life. But that idea is no longer a reality in our America in this present day, 2018, the year of our Lord.
And what's your idea of the American dream?
That it's stupid, it's not plausible, it's an idea that we can't reach, and so fuck the American dream. It's not a real thing.
Okay, and has there been any problems to this idea?
Yeah. America is extremely exclusive. My mom is a nurse, and her degree counts for nothing in this country. And neither does my father's doctorate. It was even under debate whether they counted as finishing high school, despite spending 4 years in college. My mom's currently going back to school at the age of 42, and she doesn't know American history very well, but she is doing all of her other gen eds and trying to get her associates in nursing so that she can practice, because she's been a CNA up until now, because she couldn't find work doing anything else. And the education system for her, I feel, has failed her. She hasn't been able to instead take a supplementary class, but instead it's a money-making scheme, because they're making her take classes that aren't relevant to her job and not accepting her previous degree as any amount of schooling.
Do you think that there is any obstacles to this American dream?
Yes, there's always obstacles. There's obstacles in any life, in any country, in any part of the world. So I think the obstacles in America are social, economic, whether they are some type of prejudice and that some people have. I think there are always something that kind of might hold people back. But I think that's kind of the beauty of the American dream, is to overcome those obstacles. And then when you succeed, you appreciate it more.
And in this time of age, do you think that there is a problem, and any problem that's like driving people away from that? What do you think that problem is? Trump?
Yeah.
Could you clarify?
Well, yeah, he's just racist. So I think that kind of makes people not want to come here as much. In fact, people are probably leaving.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
And what do you think the problem is?
Well, with all, sorry, I waved. Well, with all other, as well as along with,
Hey, how's it going? All right, how about yourself? I'm well.
along with many other liberal millennials and Generation Zers, because I'm right on that line. I think that the problem with capitalism is that Trump's a bitch, and like, just be nice to people, but nobody wants to be nice to each other. Like, okay, so I feel like communism's cool. Like, not all the bad stuff about it, but like the good stuff about it. Like, your neighbor's poor, so you help them out, you know? But, so, like, in the early 1900s, like, rich people, like, there were wildly rich people. Like, John D. Rockefeller, crazy rich. But, like, but he didn't believe in, like, government, like, sponsored community things. So, like, he opened a bunch of public libraries and, like, made a bunch of public parks and stuff, like, as a private citizen. And, like, I feel like that's the way capitalism is supposed to work, where, like, the people at the top still care about other people. And that's just not, like, the world we live in right now.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No problem. So did I.
I feel that the vast majority of our issues in this country come from our inability to see how projects that benefit the impoverished can benefit the entire country. People seem to forget that we are only as great as our lowliest member. And the gap between our upper class and lower class, and even the middle class, those gaps have been growing. There are no in-betweens anymore. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and it's due to, in my opinion, our lack of empathy, and the culture of it's a dog-eat-dog world. And because of our inability to implement socialist programs such as healthcare and welfare programs, and not be having an issue with that, that's really taking I feel that our reluctance to help the underprivileged is what's really hurting us, because to be able to contribute to society, someone needs to be able to be on their feet and be able to input their opinions and their work into society, and without some help, some people aren't going to get there. There are people who have tried to be employed and they've tried to make their way in this country, and because no one's given them a chance, whether that be because they can't afford to go to school again, whether they can't afford to work at an, sorry, I messed that up, because jobs require experience before you get hired, and that's not fair, because some people can't afford to work at an unpaid internship while paying off student loans. Our education system is too expensive for, realistically, the majority of the country to pay for. And it's not fair to steal an education from an entire group of people. That group. it's a much larger issue than I feel most people recognize. And unfortunately, it's not simply, but not extremely complexly solved. It's just taking money from certain things, and I have a list of things that could be, and giving it to social welfare programs, such as welfare, health care, such as Medicaid and Medicare, disability programs. Like, our disability program, you are not allowed to own more than $2,000 worth of assets and still receive disability pay every month. That's ridiculous. The disabled are not getting the care that they deserve, and they can't contribute to our society with that. They can't afford to pay for school with that. And that's just one example of many people. People on welfare can't afford to go to school, can't afford to better their education so they can get a better job and get off of welfare eventually. They can't afford to get off of welfare. They can't afford to get off of welfare. And it's just, we keep limiting people that could really make a great change in our country just based on the poverty they were born into. And it's frustrating because we have such potential and we have all of the tools available to us to at least make it better, and we're not using them.
And what do you think the solution to this problem is? Do you think that it can be fixed?
Yeah. This got real political real fast. Yeah, I think so.
And how? What do you think the solution is?
I think to allow, well, first off, the wall shouldn't happen. That's a no. That's a no. And then also, to kind of, I don't want to be too, like, I don't want to seem like a bitch, you know?
No, go ahead, I don't care.
Okay, I think that there should be, like, laws put in place as to what we're allowed to restrict and what we're not allowed to restrict. I think it's kind of like, because coming here to America is already really difficult. My parents had a hard time. It took them years to get their citizenship, so I think it's already pretty difficult. And there are certain situations that are making it more difficult, which I think kind of makes no sense for the American dream. But, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the solution could be?
Regulation.
I was going to say bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Nice.
Eat the rich.
Perfect.
Kill the 1%.
Okay.
And disperse their money to the impoverished people who deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that our focus on money and selfish tones of that come from capitalism and the